So there's a whole new kind of computing just around the corner, and it's so powerful, it's going to change, well, pretty much everything. But here's the catch. With all that power comes a massive threat to something we rely on every single day, the safety of our data. And the scary part? That threat might already be happening.
So let's just start with a question that, honestly, might keep you up at night. Is your organization's most valuable data, I'm talking your trade secrets, your customer lists, all your financial records, is it being siphoned off right now, with the plan to crack it all open in the future?
Look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's a real-world strategy, and it's called Harvest Now, Decrypt Later. Think of it this way. A thief steals a locked diary. Right now, they can't open it. But they know that in a few years, someone's going to invent a master key that can open any lock. So what do? They just hang on to it. They wait. That is the exact playbook adversaries are using with our encrypted data as we speak.
And that leads us right into the heart of the problem, what we're calling the quantum data heist. The key here is to understand that these risks aren't just some far-off theoretical thing. No, this is an active, ongoing situation. Okay, let's break this down. It all starts with a cyber attack, right? Bad actors are capturing data today. Doesn't matter if it's just sitting on a server or flying across the internet. And we're not talking about just any data. We're talking about the crown jewels, your encryption keys, sensitive personal info, your intellectual property. But here's the real kicker. Look at the scope. This isn't just about your company. The risk extends to your customers, your partners, your entire supply chain. So with a threat that big, you have to be asking, what's the solution? Well, that's where this idea of quantum readiness comes into play. So let's define what it actually means to get ready for this completely new era. You know, the encryption we all use today was built for the computers we have today, what we call classical computers. It's tough, for sure, but it was never designed to stand up against the brute force of a quantum computer. Post-quantum cryptography, or PQC for short, is the new standard. It's a whole new family of math problems designed from the ground up to be safe from both classical and quantum computers. It's basically like upgrading from a simple padlock to a state-of-the-art bank vault.
Now, to actually make this transition, your organization needs something called crypto agility. Okay, imagine trying to change all 4 tires on a car while it's still doing 70 miles an hour down the highway. That's kind of what this is. It's the ability to swap out your most fundamental security systems without the whole operation grinding to a halt. It's an absolutely vital skill for what's coming. And that really gets to the whole point of this. The goal here is not some panicked, last-minute, hair-on-fire scramble. It's all about having a planned, orderly, and cost-effective transition. It's about turning what could be a crisis into a smart, strategic project that makes your organization safer for decades.
All right, so we get the threat, we know the goal, but where on earth do you actually start? Let's get practical and talk about your internal playbook, specifically the first 2 steps you absolutely have to take.
So where do you begin? It really just boils down to 2 things. First, you need a risk assessment. Every single company is different, so there is no one-size-fits-all solution here. You've got to figure out your own specific weak spots. And second, and this is the big one, the absolute key, you need a cryptography inventory. Why? Because you cannot protect what you don't even know you have. This means you need to create a complete map of every single place you use encryption across your entire digital world.
And hey, if you're wondering why you need to start now, just look at this quote. Migrating your systems to be quantum safe, it will be a multi-year process. This is not a simple patch you can do over a weekend. It's a massive, complex overhaul of your infrastructure. And that clock is already ticking. But here's something you've got to remember. You can't solve this problem all by yourself, locked away in an IT office. Your security is only as strong as your weakest link. And that means you have to start engaging with your entire ecosystem, and you need to start asking your tech partners some pretty tough questions. The reality is your quantum resilience is completely tied to your supply chain. So you've got to be proactive. Start asking your vendors, the ones you have now and the ones you're thinking about, for their PQC roadmaps. You need to get clear on who's responsible for what part of this transition, what's their plan, and does it line up with your plan? And what's really interesting is that the more companies that ask these questions, the more it creates this customer pull that actually speeds up how fast these new, safer solutions become available for everybody. So, let's bring this all together. The message, when you boil it all down, is pretty simple. The transition starts now. So let's talk about the final takeaways for your journey to becoming quantum safe. Okay, the big question, right? When is a quantum computer actually going to be able to break our current encryption? The truth is, nobody knows the exact year, but the general consensus points to sometime in the 2030s. Let's just call it 2030X. So, if we know the migration process is going to take years, well, the simple math tells you that the prep work has to start today.
And you have to understand, this is not going to be like flipping a light switch. This transition is going to be messy. For years, the old systems and the new systems are going to have to live together. That means making sure they can talk to each other. Backward compatibility and interoperability is going to be absolutely essential. It's just another reason why planning for a smooth, orderly rollout is so incredibly important.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. Your journey to becoming quantum safe isn't a weekend project. It's going to take years of careful planning, inventory, and migration. So the only real question left is, when are you going to take that first step?